Marami po sa mga Filipino women, tayo po mga babae, ang inuuna po natin talaga ang mga mahalagang tao sa buhay natin. Ang ating asawa, anak, immediate family members. Ang self po, lagi pong nahuhuli o secondary po siya. It's Women's Month and we owe it to the community of listeners that we have ngayon na may makuha silang vital information sa usapang ito. If they experience a certain set of symptoms, ano-ano po yung certain set of symptoms na yun na pag nag-coexist together, kailangan po sabihin natin na magpa-check up po sila because mahalaga po na matingnan at mabigyan ng attention po ito.
Alam mo ba, ng sakit sa puso pa rin ang nangungunang dahilan ng pagkamatay ng mga kababaihan? Pero bakit hanggang ngayon, marami pa rin sa atin na nag-aakalang panglalaking sakit lamang yan? Well, it's about time na baguhin na natin ang kaisipan na yan. Dahil ngayon, kakasama natin si Marie Ampelocchio, siya ang founder at CEO ng Radix HR. Kasama niya ang dalawang eksperto sa puso, si Dr. Milagros Yamamoto at Dr. Julie Ann Yamamoto, isang mother and daughter tandem mula sa UST Hospital. Pag-uusapan natin kung bakit madalas na ipagwawalang bahala ng mga babae ang mga sintomas ng sakit sa puso at kung paano natin mas maaalagaan ang ating kalusugan at ano ang mga bagong technology na pwedeng tumulong sa pagpapalakas ng ating puso. Kaya huwag kang aalis, marami ka matututunan dito. Tandaan, mga babae, your health is your priority.
Hello everyone, this episode today promises to be very, very exciting. We're going to talk about cardiovascular health for women. So happy Women's Month. We have today, I'm so excited to introduce to you two cardiologists who happen to be mother and daughter. And while we will get more background about them, let's have them introduce Dr. Mila Yamamoto and daughter Dr. Julie Yamamoto. Hello po! My God, this is amazing. Maybe we can start off with this tiny thing. Siguro people are kind of asking, paano po kayo naging doktora? And your background, you chose cardiovascular as a practice. At hindi lang po yung for yourself. You also influenced pa, and Dr. Julie, we will hear from you later, ha? But Dr. Mila, tell us about the history of this.
Yeah, when I was young, I had rheumatic fever. And so that gave me an idea that I want to cure what I have. And so I went into medical school and I really wanted to be a cardiologist. And I went on training. I went on specialization for the heart. And of course, you know, heart disease is number one cause of disease and death among females. Not only among females, but males and females alike.
And Doctora, was it an automatic first choice to choose cardiovascular?
Yes, for me.
I had that opportunity to interview both Dr. Mila and Dr. Julie, that even the husband of Dr. Mila is also a surgeon, a doctor, and mayroon po sila pang dalawang siblings, si Dr. Julie, that are also in the field of medicine. And it's just amazing that you're contributing a lot, no? Just by taking on that job sa ating bansa. Kaya maraming salamat po. Dr. Julie, is it the direct influence of your mother to have chosen this particular field?
Well, indirectly, actually. When I went into medicine, I didn't want to go into adult medicine, actually. I wanted to be a pediatrician, but as I went through my training as an intern, and then I decided to go into internal medicine. And even then, when I was in internal medicine, I initially wanted to be a nephrologist. I did, but over time, like as I was going through my senior residency, I realized that cardiology was something that I guess innate in me, that I understood it, and I'm very happy with how we were able to treat patients with heart diseases where I trained. So that's the push for me to go pursue cardiology. So it was an indirect influence from Dr. Mila, I would say.
And I was very happy.
I got information from the World Health Organization about cardiovascular diseases for women in the Philippines. And it registered an information that says that ischemic heart disease approximates about 66,290 female deaths. And that there is another one that takes the second seat as far as statistics is concerned, neoplasms, which has a female death number of 38,000, which is half of the first one. What are your immediate thoughts about this number?
That's true, very true. Number one cause of mortality and morbidity, sickness and death, is heart disease among women. Second, breast cancer is just second to it. And number 3 is hypertension, and number 4 is diabetes. And both of them are risk factors for cardiovascular disease.
Absolutely. Anything to add on that, Dr. Julie?
Yes. So the data, this is probably a few years back already. So you can imagine that the numbers at this present, although not reported, would be rising, right? So this is really something that we need to shed light to, and
I so agree. I so agree. No, thank you for pointing out that fact that whatever Dr. Mila mentioned, it was just a number of 2021-22. So the numbers have already accelerated at this point in time. This particular question, ang gusto natin na talaga to open the eyes of women. It's Women's Month, and we owe it to the community of listeners that we have ngayon na may makuha silang vital information sa usapang ito. So, Dr. Mila and Dr. Julie, marami po sa mga Filipino women, tayo po mga babae, ang inuuna po natin talaga ang mahalagang tao sa buhay natin. Ang ating asawa, anak, immediate family members. Ang self po, lagi pong nahuhuli o secondary po siya. Ngayon, doon sa mga nanonood pong women ngayon sa atin, if they experience a certain set of symptoms, ano-ano po yung certain set of symptoms na yun, na pag nag-coexist together, kailangan po sabihin natin na magpa-check up po sila because mahalaga po na matingnan at mabigyan ng attention po ito.
Alam mo, kasi yung mga babae, lalo na yung may asawa, nanganak yan eh. So, ang tolerance nila sa pain, napakataas. Napakataas ang tolerance nila sa pain. So, yung nag-chest pain na sila, eto, experience ako sa clinic. Doktora, nag-chest pain po ako, pero tingin ko meron akong heartburn. Akala nila heartburn, gas, yung chest pain na yon. And then, sabi nila masakit ang ulo, nahihilo siya. Pero, itutulog ko lang ito, hindi siya pupunta sa doktor. Only to find out later on, pag pumunta siya, napakataas na pala ng blood pressure niya. Or pupunta siya sa emergency room, nai-stroke na pala siya. So, itong cultural concern ng mga babae, mga Pilipina, no, dapat makorek natin yan. And make them aware na kung ang lalaki ay nagkakaroon ng heart disease, much more so din ang mga babae. Based on the statistics na sinention mo, no? Yes. So, siguro, kung magkakameron ng mensahe, itong interview natin ito, ay to make the women aware, no, na alagaan nila yung sarili nila. Huwag nilang pabayaan. Huwag nilang unahin yung asawa o yung anak. Kasi pag silang nagkasakit, walang mag-aalaga sa asawa, walang mag-aalaga sa anak.
Doktora, you're driving home a great point. My God, sinong mag-aalaga kung sila mismo? Oh my gosh. Oh, I couldn't underscore that any further. Kaya maraming salamat. Dr. Julie, anything to add on that?
Well, agree naman din talaga that women will present differently or atypically versus men. So, it's good to know what the symptoms are, pero importante din na malaman kung may risk factor po ba tayo for cardiovascular disease. Kasi natanong niyo po kanina, kung itong mga symptoms ay magkakasama na, you would think of a cardiovascular disease. But maliban sa symptoms, you have to know what risk factors you have. Kunwari, sa family ninyo, may mga na heart attack, na stroke, may mga kapamilya po kayo, kadugo na may hypertension, diabetes. So, you have to couple that with the symptoms po. So, yun lang po, just to add emphasis on that, na maliban sa symptoms, kailangan alam nyo kung ako ba ang typical na pasyente na pwedeng magka-cardiovascular disease.
Correct.
Pwede ba akong magdagdag pa ng konti? Tayong mga babae, pagka tayo ay nakapag-asawa, nagbuntis at nakapanganak na, hindi na tayo makabalik doon sa slender body. Okay? Hindi na tayo nagre-reduce. Kumakain tayo ng high carbohydrate diet, ganyan, no? So, we fail to take care of ourselves. No? We take care of our husbands, we take care of our children, pero nakakalimutan natin yung ating sarili. So please, women, take care of yourselves.
Wow! And ito naman, Dr. Julie, if you can kickstart answering this question, why is it that cardiovascular diseases are more identified to men than women? Diba? Parang, pati ba sa sakit may segregation?
I think it's because most data that we have in the past are catered to men. We have to recognize that in the past, women were always sidelined, even when it comes to doing research and getting information. So, maybe that's why we have more data on men.
Napaturo ako kay Dr. Julie because history points out in the Philippines, kahit nung araw na siguro yung mga olden days natin, na men are the one working. And therefore, they are more prone to that because of their exposure to work. And women are, I don't know why, bakit yung ibang nasa bahay, di ba pwede rin silang magkasakit? Kasi ang trabaho sa bahay is also equally stressful.
Yes, historically, it's just that men were counted more than women. But syempre, ngayon, iba naman na yung lifestyle natin ngayon. There's more emphasis on getting information on women and other non-traditional populations like the elderly, younger people. So, yun yung, kumbaga ngayon, nag-emerge siya as important na fields of research when it comes to cardiovascular disease. So, there's women, elderly, young ones with congenital. Yeah.
Thank you. So now there are more segmentation of data and information.
Parang siguro through clinical experience, why are more women presenting this way and that? So syempre, yung mga nauna sa aming mga cardiologists, they say na, oh, maybe we have to look into that. Ang important part naman is disease prevention and mortality prevention. So,
may I add to that one,
Yes,
no?
yes.
Kasi yung babae, during reproductive age, pag nanganganak pa sila, may protection sila, no? May hormone na estrogen sa katawan nila na nagpoprotekta sa katawan nila. Pero pagka magme-menopause na sila, premenopausal, bago ka tumigil yung regla, pansinin po ninyo, tumataba ang babae, tumataas ang blood pressure, so nag-iiba yung cardiovascular system nila. And they're more prone to hypertension, obesity, diabetes, and also heart disease, heart attack. So, yun po, importante sana malaman ng ating mga kababaihan na pag malapit na silang mag-menopause, talagang alagaan ng sarili at saka kumonsulta po sa doktor para hindi ho nami-miss yung inyong sakit sa puso.
And bakit po kaya sa ating bansa, hinihintay po ng mga kababayan natin na may sakit sila bago sila sumangguni kaysa, kumbaga, nandoon na yung onset ng disease kaysa po doon sa preventive side? What would you advise? Hindi ko po alam kung yan po ay because of practice sa medical field na kailangan ba pumunta pag may sakit na? Or is it a paradigm shift ng Filipino in general na unahin na magpa-check up even before sa onset ng mga sakit?
Ayan nga po ang gusto naming ipahiwatig sa mga kababaihan. Na huwag nilang hintayin na magkaroon sila ng sakit kasi pangkaraniwan. Kasi nga ho, very high ang tolerance nila sa sakit. Hindi sila pupunta sa doktor. So kailangan po, pagdating ng age 40, 45, kasi premenopausal na yan, magpa-check up na po sa doktor. At malaman nyo ang blood pressure nyo, malaman nyo yung cholesterol ninyo.
Yes.
Okay. Lalo na po yung mga kababaihan na ang history ng family nila, ang tatay nila, ang nanay nila, ang lola, ay meron pong hypertension, namatay sa heart attack, namatay sa stroke. Napaka-strong risk factor ho yan sa mga kababaihan na kailangan, bago pa dumating yung hypertension sa kanila, nagpapacheck up na po sila para malaman at maagapan yung mga komplikasyon.
Okay. Dr. Julie, there is also a lot of women hindi po na-associate yung gastro effect na hindi nila alam an attack is already happening. Paano po ba ma-differentiate, if that is the right word, yung gastro talaga versus the one that has a direct effect on? Meron po bang ganung paraan? Or dapat talaga check-up is the only way to get it done, no?
Well, I think it would be very difficult to say an arbitrary na way to differentiate cardiac and non-cardiac cause of gastric pain. So again, we will go back to yung sa risk factors ng pasyente. Kasi syempre, hindi rin mura magpagamot, di ba? So,
I think isa yun sa
yes. And I think that's also another reason to answer yung unang question is that bakit ang mga Pilipino magpapatingin lang sa doktor kapag may nararamdaman na. Kasi generally, Filipinos, we struggle daily, diba? Financially. So, you have to allot certain budgets for that. So, parang, syempre, kung hindi nila nakakita as priority yon preventatively, to prevent diseases, hindi nila paglalaanan ng budget yon or ng oras. So, I mean, that's the reality eh. Pero, mas mahal kasing magkasakit.
Gusto ko pong i-underscore yon sa Filipino natin. Kasi po, nanghihinayang po sila sa check-up dahil nga specialista po kayo. Pero ang totoo nun, mas masakit sa bulsa po pagka nagkasakit na nga po.
Pero alam mo, ngayon, sa mga companies, no? Maraming mga companies, meron silang annual check-up. Correct. So, kailangan ng mga kababayan natin, lalo na yung mga kababaihan, gamitin nila itong annual check-up na ito. Hindi lang naman yung mga asawa na may trabaho, pero kasama din doon sa annual check-up. The wife, yung dependents, yung mga anak. So, gamitin po niyo yun. Yung anong yan. Or kung meron kayong narinig na merong medical mission dito or merong adult wellness check-up dito. Pag napakinggan po niyo yun, lagyan na ng panahon para ho makita kung ano na yung estado ng inyong blood pressure, ano yung estado ng puso ninyo.
Since si Dr. Mila is on a roll on this, naligan ko pa ng isang layer ng topic. Kasi you mentioned a couple of things that companies can do. What can companies really do po ba na centrally focus on preventive? Dahil po sa dami ng kaso na naatendahan niya pareho, lalo na po kay doktora, what could the companies have done differently para sana ma-prevent itong, kasi alam ko stress is a huge factor dito. Pero could it have been cushioned? Maari po bang naalagaan ito ng ibang mga bagay na interventions ng kumpanya para po ma-prevent ito?
Yung mga companies, aside from the annual check-up nila, meron silang mga nurses or meron silang mga doktor doon sa kanilang kumpanya, lalo na kung medyo malaki, no? 500 and above na empleyado nila. Yung iba nagpapakain sila, pero sana naman yung pagkain na ibibigay nila doon sa kanilang mga empleyado, yung healthy food. Hindi po lahat karne, hindi po lahat ay mataas ang cholesterol o sobra-sobra ang sweet, sobra-sobra ang carbohydrate. Kasi ang pagkain po natin Pilipino, tawag namin diyan carbo loading, no? Imagine mo, kumain ka na ng kanin, kakain ka ng pansit, tapos kakanin, ice cream, merienda. So it's really very high in sugar. And then, of course, importante din na bigyan sila ng awareness yung mga empleyado nila na kailangan pag kami naramdaman, bigyan nila ng pagkakataon na magpa-check up talaga sa doktor. Meron silang mga retainer na doktor.
Yes, they do.
Please make use dun sa mga pribilehyo ninyong ganyan na binibigay ng kumpanya ninyo.
Tama. Para po sa ating nanonood na Filipinos and Filipino women, no? Because of the segment nga ng Women's Month. How many times po ba in a year, ano po ang tamang check-up? Like how many times should a common Filipino go for a check-up? Is there like po a standard rule of thumb na dapat once a year? Pero kung may symptoms, of course, iba din po yun.
It would be good like to know where you are at baseline. And then from there, you consult with the doctor to determine kung gaano kadalas ka babalik sa kanya. Kasi mahirap magbigay ng once a year ka lang. Ganun. Kasi we might be missing out something eh. So, adult Filipina, have your baseline check. Madali lang naman yun eh. Blood pressure. Pag sa annual physical examination, they request blood tests din eh. And if you have the risk factors, like you have a parent who's hypertensive, diabetic, or mataas ang cholesterol, hindi mo kasi madiskwento na baka it runs in the family. So you have that. So just at one point, have yourself checked, have yourself seen by a doctor, an internist, or a cardiologist. Tapos from there, you tailor fit kung gaano kadalas ka na babalik. Or ano yung mga babantayan mo. Kasi you need to invest time for this.
Ang ganda ng sinabi nyo na simulan natin sa baseline. Kasi kung walang baseline, walang pupuntahan tayong direksyon. Kailangan magpa-check ka muna once. The blood test itself will show a lot of signs, no? And from there, you can go, yung next level.
So apart from looking at yung test result, your doctor kasi can identify risk factors that maybe you yourself aren't aware of.
Tama.
So, yun. That's why good clinical history taking and physical examination by a doctor is key for you to understand the importance of you going back to your doctor or having certain tests done or what you're supposed to monitor. Kasi awareness nga eh. So how will you be aware if you don't have yourself checked, diba?
Tama.
So, yun.
Tama. Ganda. Anything to ask, Dr.?
At saka, importante din, you keep track of your records, no? Yung kasing iba, pagka-test nila, kung saan nila nilalagay. Ilagay nyo sa folder, please.
Ang ganda ng point, Doktora.
No?
Sobra.
Lagay nyo sa folder para pag sa susunod, meron tayong comparison na dalahin nyo sa doktor nyo. I think some companies, meron silang mga records that they keep, no? And may nakikita rin akong mga physical examination forms na dapat ma-fill up talaga yon, no? So, hindi lang heart, breast, everything, no? Kasi cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, pwede namang ma-detect din yon sa by an annual check-up.